Hello, and welcome to 20 Lore Pro, the competitive resource for LORCANA players who enjoy deck building, competing, and talking all things LORCANA. You can find out more at our Discord community, 20lore.pro/discord, link in the description. Are you looking to take your competitive LORCANA play to the next level? Check out 20 Lore Pro's coaching channel, where we have coaches ready to help you play your best at the next big event. Link in the description. Check out some of our great 20 Lore Pro coaches like Harlan Sweets. Click on their link and you can see their bio as well as some of their past achievements. Like in today's video, we have NOIMNOT, one of our 20 Lore Pro coaches. If you'd like to receive coaching advice from NOIMNOT, head on over to 20 Lore Pro/Discord to the coaching channel, where you can find NOIMNOT for all of your Ruby Amethyst needs. I'm going to take just a little segue to highlight the 20 Lore Pro community in today's video. We normally do this on our Patreon, but we felt that with the store championships and just how many people participated, that this would be a great time to highlight all those people. In today's video, I interview NOIMNOT, who won first place in 5 store championships and overall winning 6 stitches altogether. It was a huge accomplishment, and we want to congratulate NOIMNOT for that really wonderful competitive finish. But we also want to highlight the other 160 other 20 Lore Pro community members who went to their local store championships and won Rockstar Stitches. Way to go, 20 Lore Pro community, in showing your competitive edge. I talked to so many community members who talked about how in the deck discussions panel of the 20 Lore Discord, they had their favorite deck that they play, and it was through the help of their friends, people that are frenemies, that they banter with, who really helped push them to play a better deck and a better play style, because of the 20 Lore Pro community. And so we want to thank and shout out just all of these 160 players, some who got 6 stitches, several of them, it wasn't just NOIMNOT, but several different 20 Lore members who got 6 stitches over the course of the 2 weekends, from 5 to 4 to 3, 2 and 1. All of these players who came out and competed in set championships across the globe, not only in America, but in Canada, territories like Puerto Rico, in Europe, France, Germany, Poland, Spain. There's so many different countries, players all across the globe, the LORCANA community at large, who came out to celebrate LORCANA, to show up at their local game store, and to compete for these Rockstar Stitches and have just a wonderful time. And so we want to highlight them and really just say what a great job. These are all of the stores that you see here on the left side. It's over 275 stores across the globe that 20 Lore Pro members competed at. All these stores, from the Mug and Meeple in the United Kingdom all the way down to Evolutions Trading in Killeen, Texas with LORCANA Bro. We just want to congratulate each and every single one of you as you went out and competed. All of these local game stores who are thriving to create a community of safety, of fun, and a competitive place for players to come and to enjoy playing trading card games. So we want to thank every single member across the globe for sharing where you played and for shouting out and showing us your favorite stores. This website is live. It's available for any member or anyone who sees this video to go and look at. So after this video, if you would like to go, or even right now, to check out all the lists of the stores where everyone played at and won as part of the 20 Lore Pro community, I'll have this link in the description below, but feel free to go and check it out and to see where we're at across the globe as we played in many different stores. To commemorate this first ever set store championships, we have given all of these members who responded to our tweet and to our request in the 20 Lore Pro Discord the Rockstar Stitch role. So if you see this in the general chat or in deck chat, someone talking and they have a little stitch next to their name, it means that they went to a store championship during the first season of these and won. These are all the members here on the 20 Lore Pro Discord who you can see them for their usernames. All of these members right now currently have received this role. It's over 160 members in the 20 Lore Pro Discord. And so we just want to congratulate each and every single one of you. If you're a member of the 20 Lore Pro Discord and you did receive a store championship Rockstar Stitch, feel free to direct message myself, SirAshtown, or Stunning Rob in the 20 Lore Pro Discord, and we'll be sure to update your username with this Rockstar Stitch. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to today's video. Again, today's video is an interview with NOIMNOT, where he discusses his 5 store first place finishes and his 6 overall winning of a Stitch. So we hope that you enjoy today's video. Hello and welcome to 20 Lore Pro. Today I'm joined by NOIMNOT as we're going to talk about and kind of examine his set championship run that he had. How are you doing, NOIMNOT?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Yeah, doing really good. Goodness, I saw your Twitter whenever I was getting ready for my set championships, and all I saw was, oh, I just won a set championship. Oh, I've won another. And it just sounds like you had a really impressive set championship run.
Yeah, I was on, I guess, a bit of a heater. It's always fun to win, but outside of winning, I mean, the set championships were still a blast to play in. I think it was very good for LORCANA.
I agree. Coming out of just doing more 1Ks like we've seen in Texas with the 20 Lore Pro group, we've been streaming those, but everyone was so hyped for these set championships, and I'm really glad that they took place.
I'm looking forward to the next one. If they do this for every set, it'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah, I hope they do. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Well, NOIMNOT, before we get into your set championships and the deck that you ran and how many you did, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and some of your previous finishes in LORCANA tournaments?
Yeah, my name's Kendall, aka NOIMNOT. Kind of native to Atlanta, Georgia. A lot of strong Atlanta LORCANA players. I've been playing competitive card games for 11, 12, probably 13-ish years now. Mostly Magic, but I did dabble in some other small card games. Flesh and Blood, played a little Dragon Ball Super, stuff like that, but Magic was definitely my main card game. Had some success there. Like I played on a few Pro Tours, I think like 3 Pro Tours, and also just, you know, local tournaments for that as well. Kana finishes, probably most known for like Season 1 Pixelborn Point Leader when I took over Ducky, but other tournaments, like I got 3rd in one of the TIA tournaments. I think it was the New Year's tournament. I got 12th in one, so like top 16 in one of those. Recently, I got finals of Star City Atlanta 5K, and then I've had multiple finishes as far as like 2Ks and 1Ks, and that would, I can't even count. Not really boasting or anything, but it's just as far as like top 8 splits or top 4 splits or just winning the whole thing, just multiple, like at least over 10, I would say, local cash tournaments. And then yeah, most recently I won 5 set championships this past 2 weeks during set champs, and I top 4'd one as well. So I finished with 6 stitches.
Oh my goodness, that is an incredible lineup of LORCANA tournaments that you have top 8'd or won or been in the finals for, but also too for the set championships. I mean, having, you said 6 stitches?
Yeah, 6 stitches, 5 champ playmats.
Oh my gosh, that's what's your plan for all of them? Have you hung them up all in your room and taken one big old photo with them yet?
No, my plan with them, I don't really play with enchanteds, and I guess if you know me, or if you're about to know me, I don't really play with Stitch Rockstar either. So, trying to get rid of basically my plan was I want to keep one of the playmats, and I will probably trade or sell the rest of them for funding myself going to tournaments. Also, the future sets, we got the new set coming out. So stuff like that.
Yeah, something that's really cool is that Ravensburger with the set championships kind of steering away from the cash prizes have instead given some really cool Disney LORCANA images, and Stitch being one of them. Just for those who love Disney and maybe not able to play at this level, at least they can go out and find a way to buy them. And for those like yourself, like you're saying, you may like Stitch, but you don't necessarily play him, and you want to keep going and playing in more tournaments. So it's such a great way to kind of convert that into more LORCANA in the future.
Yeah, I obviously don't think Ravensburger had any thought into as far as secondary market for the promos, and I don't think anybody expected the promos to go for what they have gone for so far. So, but I guess it was lucky for all the players that were able to win one. They were just high EV tournaments playing,
and it made for really, I think, a good opportunity for a lot of local game stores to get to know the players better, because I can't tell you how many times when I was in Dallas where I talked to a store owner and they mentioned, oh yeah, I've never seen like those 20 players, and then the store owner would talk about their leagues for the next coming weeks or what they're going to do for the next set. So it was neat just to see game stores have the ability to meet new people and then try to grow kind of their local meta, their audience community.
Definitely. Pretty much all the set champs I went to, I've been to those stores at least once. 3 of them I hadn't been to before. So it was also like an opportunity, again, like you said, like players and store owners like meeting each other for the first time. I know some store owners were, they have their leagues, but then when they have kind of like a tournament this size and they see the turnout and stuff, they became more interested, like, oh, maybe like they were wanting to run another LORCANA tournament in the future outside of set champs, so they were like, hey, let us know like what kind of tournaments you're interested in. So it was great for stores, great for players. I think it was great for the competitive players to get out, get some practice for upcoming challenges and stuff. I think it was great for the league players, like the more casual LORCANA players, to get like a first time experience into, like a semi competitive, because they were competitive in nature, so they get like their first time experience in a tournament, kind of open them up to that.
The fact that this is the first print of this card, Stitch, being in enchanted form, in that artwork at least, and everybody in the top 4 gets one. that's kind of a nice little competitive prize to seek after. So I agree with what you're saying. That does create a competitive environment, especially when people started finding out real quick that they were selling for $500 to $700.
Yeah, the first day, I think. So Friday was the first tournament 2 weeks ago now. Like there were sold listings online for like $1,200. Now they did quickly drop, after the first couple days when more tournaments were ran and people were posted. But yeah, I think it's still holding around like $700.
Wow, that's incredible. Looking at this set of set championships, what was your way of preparing yourself for these tournaments, and how did you get ready for them with the deck list that you took?
So I don't play Pixelborn as much as what I used to, probably like to my own fault, but I have been kind of busy. Personally, prepping for these set champs, the weekend prior was Star City Atlanta. So Star City was here, and they ran a 5K and a 1K on Saturday and Sunday, and I made finals of the 5K. Lost in the finals, and that was pretty much the same deck list that I took to set champs. I made one change, and that was switching the numbers on Surfer Mini and the 3-cost Maleficent. I think in that tournament I played 4 Surfers and 3 Maleficent, so I just switched those 2 around, playing 4 Maleficent instead. And that was like pretty much my tournament prep. Not too much Pixelborn. I think we'll get into it a little bit more, but the majority of my time leading up to set champs was I've also been doing coaching. So a lot of my practice just kind of came like vicariously through my students or trainees, minions, whatever you want to call them. So helping them out, like helping them through games and stuff, is just kind of like how I literally got my practice. Because I didn't have much time outside of my day job and then coaching after work. I didn't have much time to just like prep on my own. So that was really my prep leading up to set champs.
Wow, that's really neat that you were able to take basically the exact same list from the Star City Games 5K, have that competitive level play, feel secure, go into your coaching sessions, keep going with it, and then hit the ground running.
I mean, I've played Ruby Amethyst in set 1, and so I'm just comfortable with the deck as far as the local scene goes. Like, if they know me, maybe I give up some percentage points because they just know I'm playing Ruby Amethyst. So they already know how to mulligan and stuff, and like I have no clue what they could be playing. I do know some players now, like generally what they'll be playing, but sometimes they even switch. So
I guess that's the price of fame as you start to get better and better results.
Yeah, I guess it's not like a bad thing necessarily.
Tell us a little bit about your coaching. When did you get started with that? And if someone's interested in getting coaching sessions from you, where can they find you?
Yeah, I first started offering coaching. It had been maybe a couple months ago now. Originally, it wasn't something I thought about. I had a few people reach out to me, and so I figured if there was some interest, I would at least start, because 20 Lore Discord opened up a coaching channel and they had a few coaches. So I reached out to Harlan and 20 Lore and I was like, hey, I've had some people reach out. So, what are the requirements, or how do I get started? And he just basically asked me for my advertisement, and that was posted. And I had a handful of people like over the last month or so that I was helping, and like their main goal, I guess, was to prep for set champs. So that's really what I was helping them out with over the last few weeks leading up to the set champs. I hadn't advertised it on Twitter, but then after the first weekend of set champs, the people that I did help coach, they had updated me on their results, and they were getting in the finals, or they were getting in top 4 at least. So they were getting stitches and playmats and all that stuff, and so like that was awesome. So even if I hadn't won myself, like I kind of at least felt a little validated in the fact that I was able to help people improve enough to like have success on their own. And I kind of had made that comment on Twitter, and then more people reached out to me through Twitter. So like if you are interested, be in the 20 Lore Discord or reach out to me on Twitter. My Twitter is actual NOIMNOT.
I mean, a lot of people want to learn from someone who has been tested and has shown repetitive results in competitive play, and you're one of those few people right now with the LORCANA scene who is playing at such a high level that you have the experience underneath your belt to be able to coach, I would say, pretty successfully, especially based on and reflecting on your results from your coachees with their set championships. You kind of pseudo won some extra set championships is what I kind of heard you saying.
Yeah. I count those as wins for me too, I guess. Like I said, if I hadn't won a single stitch and they did, like I would have still felt, pretty successful the last 2 weeks. I guess to add to the coaching thing, I had put in my little advertisement that really I only offer it for Ruby Amethyst, and everyone that did reach out to me were looking for help specifically for Ruby Amethyst. There are a lot of great players right now in LORCANA that are offering coaching, and some of them are like more specialized in other archetypes. Really, I do think like I'm a good player, and I like to think that I could pilot any deck pretty well, but I do know that there are also better players that more specialize in like a certain archetype. So I would definitely point you in like their direction first if it was for some other deck.
If you are watching and you're looking for a coach specifically with Ruby Amethyst, head on over to 20lore.pro/discord, and we'll make sure to have NOIMNOT's direct link to his coaching. That way you can see that post and reach out to him, as well as his Twitter in the description below. That way you can reach out via direct message that way. Well, NOIMNOT, jumping into the deck that you have coached everyone with, that you've been playing since set 1, Ruby Amethyst, can you give us a broad overview of the deck and some of the best lines?
Yeah, this is Ruby Amethyst set 3. we did I know you interviewed me for set 2. Kind of the same deck. We've gotten a few little additions, but the Madam Mim bounce package is the majority of the deck, and it's just a very, powerful engine. Goats and rabbits and foxes and snakes. It's just Animal Farm of bounce. Yeah, but I mean, so your overall game plan is just, again, it's like an attrition style based deck, mid-range control. You are looking to just out-card advantage your opponent with a majority of 2-for-1s. Your overall game plan, 2-for-1ing your opponent, you're eventually going to grind out the game and get incremental lore. More often than not, you're bouncing goats to finish off the game. What I like about the deck is it can pivot between a control plan, or you even have an aggressive plan. In some matchups you are the control, and then some matchups you are the beatdown. Depends on each matchup. One thing that helps you with being aggressive is the inclusion of Surfer Mini against matches where you need to close the game fast or win, because we don't necessarily have a strong late game as them anymore, such as Red-Blue. Surfer Minis are there to help you win games faster. I mean, it looks very similar to the set 2 deck. We haven't gotten that many additions. I literally, looking at the deck, I think it's Castle and Madame Medusa, and at least in my version, like, that's 5 cards different from what we had access to from the last set. Now, Medusa and Castle are like really powerful inclusions. Castle is just great for closing out the games. Attacks, like on a different axis, as far as the new card type, lets you generate card advantage if they have no answer for it. So once you've finally grinded your opponent down to having like no cards, you have a castle in play, put a couple characters on there, and you start drawing multiple cards a turn. And generally you'll have an answer for like each card that they play from then on. And Madame Medusa, she was a really good addition, because set 2, the beast, 5-drop beast, he was very popular, and people got a lot better playing around Tremaine. So the fact that Medusa can come down and target instead of giving them the option was huge. And Robin Hood, the new Robin Hood, was another reason why Medusa was just really big add for the deck. And Castle, in some capacity, is great. However, I think people do make the mistake of like falling into sort of a castle trap, where they play a castle and it just gets taken off the board the following turn, and they got no value out of it. They got no lore, they didn't get a card, nothing. So that's generally why I like to play a little less castles, because the way that I play the deck, normally I'm playing the castle once I'm ready to close the game, or you've like taken control over the game. Rafiki has been great attacking anything with 3 toughness. For one, he's good at trading into all of the Mim package, Merlin Mim package, right? Like, all of that stuff has 3 toughness. And then the other big target was the 3-drop Ursula. With the 3-drop Ursula, Rafiki was just kind of like an auto include in your deck, because you needed an answer to that card. And with that was also the inclusion of Pinocchio. Pinocchio was kind of fringe playable in set 2. Like, some people played him, like 1 or 2 maybe, but he wasn't really a necessity. And now I think it's kind of like a staple in the deck, and that was probably because of the inclusion of Rafiki. So with Rafiki, Pinocchio just kind of works out a lot better. Rafiki has that hidden line of text where he doesn't take damage from hyenas, which is not relevant right now, but it might eventually.
Those Emerald Steel discard or Emerald Amethyst decks that are playing that Ursula, that they can really take off, especially with the advantage of drawing possibly 4 cards in a turn off of Ursula. So just having the ability to drop Pinocchio and then challenge is really great.
I mean, Ursula is really powerful. I can't think of a single spell that she sings that is just not busted for playing it twice. So definitely a very high value target. You need to take that card out immediately. Otherwise, just getting 1 activation off of her is a lot of times enough just to put you so far ahead. And I know people are really excited as far as the new set goes, with the duet card, that she just gets to play those really high expensive songs twice.
Yeah, Lorcana set 4 is going to be a new archetype. It's going to introduce a whole new play environment for sure. Thank you so much, NOIMNOT, for giving us an overview of the deck and kind of the main strategy for Ruby Amethyst Bounce. Can you walk us through some of your store championships, at least your most memorable moments maybe, and some of the things that really stuck out into your mind as you were playing in all the ones that you went to?
Sure. So I was lucky enough, I played in 7 of them. Our Georgia Facebook group is pretty active, and so the stores were pretty generous in the fact that some tried to, like obviously you can't just have them all on a separate day, but stores did like their best to plan around each other. So I guess we got pretty lucky, at least in Georgia, that we had one on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of each weekend, and then there was also one on a Wednesday. So the very first one being on Friday was at Gubu Hobbies. It was like 38 players. Interesting thing across all these tournaments is they all kind of had like a different meta. That didn't affect my deck choice, obviously, because I took the same deck to each one of them. But it was very interesting in the fact that, it kind of had different matchups across different tournaments. So yeah, the first one on Friday, Gubu Hobbies, over half the room, I'd say, was probably playing red purple. But yeah, that was my first win. Most notable win was beating Zan in top 4. He was playing blue steel that tournament. And I think he made the comment later in his own Discord that, he really wasn't a fan of the deck list. Fired off that win. Second day, went to level up Johns Creek on a Saturday. That room was full of aggro. There was hyper aggro, like purple yellow aggro. There was a bunch of Mufasa decks, and there was a lot of green purple tempo decks. I guess the most notable win from that was literally I played hyper aggro in the finals, yellow purple aggro in the finals of that tournament. Sunday was Peach State Games, and that was a smaller tournament. It was only 16 people. Originally, I think it was supposed to be 32, but they were kind of concerned as far as running a competitive level tournament and not having access to a judge, so they wanted to keep it kind of small. And in that room, it was a bunch of steel decks. So I think I played against blue steel, green steel, yellow steel, and then in top 4 I played against yellow steel. In the finals I played against red blue. Most notable memory from that tournament, my yellow steel opponent in round 3 and the top 4, I played him previously in the top 8 of the Star City 5K that was in Atlanta. So when I talk about as far as like having strong Lorcana players, they're like these were, pretty tough tournaments. Like you could have, some easy matches, but like you get deeper into the tournaments, and especially in the top cuts, you're playing against like really great players. So, but he's a really good guy. Wednesday night was another tournament. So by then I had won 3 tournaments, and I was like feeling great, and I was like, 3 back to back is pretty insane. Like I could not win anymore, for the rest of these set champs and be perfectly content. Went to the one on Wednesday night. That was with You Wanna Smash. And that one was mid 30s as well. That that tournament, there was a lot of flute players. Zan was at this tournament as well and decided to bring flutes. So I played flutes round 1. I played Zan in round 2 on flutes. Finals was also a flutes player as well. So then we get to the second weekend. Now I've won 4 tournaments. Friday night was at Caffeinated Gamers, and this was a 32-player tournament. Started at like 6 p.m. I ended up losing in top 4 of that one. And that was a pretty diverse field. I remember it being mostly red-blue. There were some flutes, some discard, and some red-purple, but I think a lot more red-blue in that tournament. And yeah, I lost. That was the first time I had lost across the 2 weeks so far. I lost in top 4 to a flute player. And if people have heard about me talk about that matchup before, but really I do feel like flutes is the one bad matchup for red purple. Everything else is really kind of even, and if you're unfavored, like really it's like 45% at worst, kind of. So Ruby Amethyst is just a strong deck overall. I had beat flutes prior to this. Like it's not unwinnable, but that is just the one matchup where it just doesn't feel great at all, really. Yeah, so I mean I lost. I don't think I necessarily misplayed in this tournament. I was still feeling good and felt like really well rested. Again, it was a bad matchup, and I do remember mulliganing in game 3 to like a really bad hand. So nothing you can really do there. However, I did lose that night, and it was probably about 2 o'clock in the morning in top 4, and the following tournament started at 10, I believe. I remember getting home and laying down feeling tired, but then I couldn't sleep. It was like 5 or 6 o'clock before I could fall asleep.
Oh no. Gosh.
Yeah, and I basically had to wake up about like 8:30 to get up for the Saturday tournament.
Oh my gosh.
Saturday is when like, and I've seen a lot of posts about this on Twitter. Saturday was kind of when it was like mental fog, like literally brain at this point. I felt exhausted at this point from playing in all these tournaments like this. And so Saturday, I can't think of any memorable misplays, but I know like I was not playing my greatest. I was just exhausted and tired, and I ended up losing in that tournament 3-2. It was out of the 7 I played, it was the one tournament I didn't top 8. And yeah, I lost twice in that tournament. But the 2 players I lost to are great players, and memorable spots in that tournament were my 2 losses were to people that I have just had their number for a while. Like one of them I had beat multiple times, but the other one was the guy that I previously mentioned that I beat him in the Star City top 8. I beat him in top 4 of the Peach State tournament, and then I beat him round 1 in the Caffeinated Gamers tournament. So at this point, I've kind of had his number, and I beat him multiple times. So even though I lost, it was a memorable moment in the fact that like, and I had said that because they see me like all the time, and I'm like, I'm due for a loss. I've been on this much of a heater this past week that like it's kind of lady luck, kind of like knocking on my door kind of thing. And just the fact like they won, they were ecstatic. It was still a great feeling, even though I lost. But yeah, I got to go home early. I didn't have to, stay at that tournament late. And I went home early, and I fell asleep for the majority of the afternoon, and I got well rested and prepped for the Sunday tournament, the last tournament. And it started late, about 2 o'clock. The last tournament was at Atomic Gaming, Stockbridge, Georgia. It was about 35 players as well, and it was another tournament Zan was at. And it was a great way, I guess, to end set champs. Me and Zan ended up playing in the finals, and I won. He was playing Pride Lands. As far as Yellow Steel matchups go, Pride Lands, I think, is the least favored, I guess, into Red Purple. I think Lanterns and Flutes have a much better matchup into Red Purple. So, but he had made the choice to play Pride Lands in this tournament because he predicted or saw a bunch of Steel players in the room. So he didn't like Flutes as much into that metagame. Great run of tournaments, I guess. But ending overall, playing 7 tournaments, I won 5, I top 4 to 1, and I missed top 8 on 1. So we finished with 6 stitches.
Oh no, not that was incredible. I'm not sure if there's anyone else out there that can say that. I think out of everyone, you might be the only one. I could be wrong.
I don't know. Yeah, well, there's a lot. I mean, surprisingly, there's a lot in the 20 lore. I think in 20 lore that there were a lot of people that I know at least got like 5, and I want to say they got 6. Now, winning 5, I don't know about winning 5. Actually, I do know one player that had me exactly tied, and that was Ed. He's also in the Ruby Amethyst thread in 20 lore.
Wow.
He won 5 and got 6 stitches. 20 lore killed it as far as stitch accruals go. Now, if you want to start adding in stitches that I guess people that I helped coach get, I mean, maybe, pull ahead a little bit. But I don't know. It was a blast. Like I said, even if I hadn't won that much, I think it was still a fun time being able to just have access to that many tournaments, even though it being exhausting, like driving Friday, Saturday, Sunday to a tournament, and even playing the one in midweek. It was tiring, but still very fun.
Did you get to go to any of these tournaments with like friends? Like you rode with them or drive with any of them?
No, I went solo to all of them. Now I do know a lot of people. Like I knew a lot of faces, when I showed up. And after some of these people went to multiple ones too and saw that I had won multiple ones, so that, you know, after I show up to a few of them after I had already won like 3, you know, it felt like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like glass shattering when you walk in the door or something. But no, I didn't travel with anybody. Just as far as like local Lorcana players, I don't think there's anyone that really lives close to me. Group of, you know, friends like Zan, like, you know, really good friends with Zan. So, you know, we were able to hang out and stuff at these tournaments. But
no, that's awesome. Looking back at just all these tournaments, what would you say are some of the biggest lessons that you learned, and maybe some changes that you might make to your deck, if any?
well, discussing changes about the deck. So I played the same deck list across 6 of the tournaments. I didn't make a single change. And then Sunday, the last tournament, I made 1 change. And I cut 1 Teeth and Ambitions for a 3rd Cusco. Teeth is like a big debate in the red-purple thread. I really only like it. It's mainly there for the yellow-steel matchup. You need to stop their shift targets early. Otherwise, their deck just plays on like a whole nother level of any other deck in Lorcana. If they're able to play Whole New World and Along Came Zeus for free starting on turn 2 or 3, there's just no other deck that really competes against that. So that's the main reason for my inclusion of playing against Teeth. The second reason is against random aggro decks. Like I did play, like I said, you know, I played against yellow purple hyper aggro in the finals of 1 tournament. I played it against, you know, Mufasa decks and other yellow purples, just random aggro decks. Like that would be another inclusion. And then the third reason would be against green decks in general. But that's just a whole nother topic, I guess, as far as it's not that great against green decks. But that was the 1 change I made, and that was only for the last tournament. I really wanted to play Cusco on 2, so I just wanted to go up on Cusco. Against a lot of decks, being able to play a 1-drop and then Cusco and then another 3-drop, you really want to just curve out in this format. So yeah, it's just really important kind of just to have the 2-drop and not necessarily bounce your creature. Also, playing Cusco on 2 and a Crab on 3 is great against a lot of decks. Like if your Cusco trades into a Smee or something like that, or Cusco trading into a Snake, it's just really huge like tempo swing. Like you're trading with their character, drawing a card, and still developing your board. Would say biggest takeaways from the tournament. I mean, red purple is a very powerful deck. I didn't, like I said, like I didn't have to change anything. I played the same list in all the tournaments. I didn't have to read any metas. You know, I was just showing up with red purple and was ready to face any deck that I played against. My biggest takeaways, it doesn't even really have to do with like Ruby Amethyst, you know. Like I don't take winning for granted. I've played card games for a long enough time now that like you just have to understand their experience and stuff. Like you're gonna lose, so just being humble as far as like, okay, I've won a lot, you know, and if I lose, it's kind of whatever. It's whatever at this point. I was honestly like more happy to kind of lose at some of those points just because I had won so much, and I could tell like it meant a lot to the people I played. Yeah, being humble. Don't take winning for granted, and take losing very well.
No, I'm really glad to hear that you had some really memorable moments during these last 2 weeks, and I hope that you've had the ability to kind of catch up on sleep. And,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of great things coming to Georgia, and one of them is the challenge in May, but also, too, another local store, Charlie's Collectible Show in Stone Mountain, Georgia, is hosting a 10K in June. Is that right?
Yes. So we've had a lot of Lorcana in Georgia these past few weeks. The challenge is coming up at the end of the month in May. I'll be going to it, so if you see me, feel free to come by, say hi, or, you know, if you don't see me, if you want to reach out and be like, hey, you want to say hi, you know, down to meet people. I'll also be going to the challenge in Chicago, which is a couple weeks after that as well. At the end of June, we have Charlie's Collectible Show, CCS 10K. I have put out reminders because early sign up ends in May, or ends May 1st. So hopefully people can get signed up before then. But it was a great time last time. He ran the 8K and we had a great turnout. It worked out so well that, you know, he decided to run it back and up the prize pool. So it would be really great to just have like a bigger turnout. But I mean, it was a blast. We got to see a lot of people that were involved in the 20 Lore Discord, you know, got to meet each other. They had, you know, on-demand side events, so like drafts or win-a-boxes, you know, whenever they had enough players, they were firing those off. There was a 1,000, like a 1K on Sunday, but because there were so many people that signed up that were there still for the weekend, he had upped the prize pool to 2K. So the 10K is going to already have a 2K on Sunday as well. So wow. $12,000 prize, like across 2 tournaments, like prize pool across 2 tournaments for that weekend. Definitely come out. And he even we had artists as well. And there's going to be more artists at the 10K. So if that's your thing, I haven't been a signature person before, but I've really liked playing LORCANA, and I've had these same red purple cards, so I went ahead and fired it off and I was able to get my Be Prepared signed and Friends on the Other Side signed, and I mean, they look really cool. And for the people that weren't at those events, like I've played in other events since then, like these set champs and stuff, and it's like people just think it's cool, you know, that I have some signed cards now. So looking forward to the ones that will come out for the 10K. But yeah, it was a really good time. And also 20 Lore will be streaming this tournament. The last time we didn't have a stream, kind of upping it even more, like going the next level, and we'll be streaming this one. So even if you're not able to attend, it'll be fun to at least watch a high level event. I know we'll have the challenges by then. All in all, just like, I guess, like a good time for LORCANA to be able to have access to like these streams for high level tournaments, and just, you know, have access to these tournaments in general.
Yeah, we're really excited to be a part of Charlie's Collectible Show's 10K and to go to Georgia and stream it. We're excited to come and be a part of that. Well, NOIMNOT, thank you so much for talking to us today about your experience with these set championships. We just want to say congratulations from 20 Lore and all that you've been doing with the community, with coaching and meeting everyone. It's really great to hear about everyone going out and playing competitive LORCANA, but also having a lot of fun in this community and getting to know each other and play alongside one another.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a blast, and I'm just happy to talk about the game, share my experiences. Always, like I said, like, you know, even if you're not looking for coaching or anything, like people have still reached out, asked my opinions on things. Like I'm always open to DMs and trying to, you know, get to them when I can. It's just been a fun time for me. And hopefully like everyone else is just having as good a time.
And hopefully we'll be able to talk to you again, maybe after the first 2 challenges, maybe see how you did there, maybe talking to a first challenger champion.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah, we're rooting for several people for Worlds. You know, we're really hoping that some 20 Lore players who have really been putting their best foot forward so far in the competitive scene do well. And so we're going to be rooting for you. No, I'm not.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us here today on 20 Lore Pro. If you like the content that we had today, feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll see y'all in the next video.